Hi everyone, and welcome back to another online Jujitsu workout class. As usual, we hope everybody is healthy and safe and doing okay in these trying times of the ongoing, continuous, year-long now COVID pandemic. Our dojo is open and we do have classes 4 days a week, but we're also having these online classes 2 days a week for those who still need it, who still are feeling unsafe traveling or for whatever reason can't get to dojo. So we will continue with these online classes as long as they're needed. Okay, let's get ready for class. Mokuso. Mokuso yame. Onegaishimasu. Up. Hands on your hips or on your belt, head to the right. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, and dai. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Head back, down, back, down, back, down, back, down. Look right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Tilt right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Any way you need it. Shoulders forward, ich, ni, san, shi, go, reverse, ich, ni, san, shi, go, alternating, ich, ni, san, shi, go, reverse, ich, ni, san, shi, go, elbows up, back, ich, ni, san, forward, ich, ni, san, forward, ich, ni, san, forward, reverse, ich, ni, san, back, ich, ni, san, back, ich, ni, san, back. Left thumb, left hand on your belt, right hand forward. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, reverse, ich, ni, san, shi, go, and dai, ich, ni, san, shi, go, reverse, ich, ni, san, shi, go, natural stance, both arms in, ich, ni, san, shi, go, reverse, ich, ni, san, shi, go, and left hand knee, right arm in, ich, ni, san, shi, go, reverse, ich, ni, san, shi, go, shake it in, shake it out, side to side, punch, and thigh, ich, ni, san, shi, go, out, ich, ni, san, shi, go, shake it in, shake it out, side to side, punch. Natural stance, elbows against your chest, both in. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, out. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Shake it in, shake it out, side to side, double punch. Hips to the right. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. And die. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Stretch back. Forward, back hands overhead, forward, chest to your right knee, ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hach, ku, ju. Left, ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hach, ku, ju. And ready for torso rotations to the right. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. And thigh, ich, ni, san, shi, go, and standing split, elbows to the mat, ich, ni, san, shi, go, rock, sich, hach, ku, ju, rocking, ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hutch, ku, ju, back on your heels. Pivot left. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hutch, ku, ju, right. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hutch, ku, ju, back to center. Elbows down. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hutch, ku, ju, rocking. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hutch, ku, ju, back on the heels. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hutch, ku, ju, pivot left. Thigh. And come up into shikadach. Hands on your knees, elbows locked. Breathe in, hips forward. Out, hips back. In. Out. In. Out. Drop your right shoulder. Look at your right fingers. Thigh. 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 And extend your right leg for side kick. Thigh. Thigh toes up. Thigh. And thigh. And thigh. And thigh all the way down. And thigh. 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 And drop into hurdler stretch. Forward. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hutch, ku, ju. Twist. Forward. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hutch, ku, ju. Twist. Thigh. Forward. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hutch, ku, ju. Twist. Forward. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hutch, ku, ju. Twist. Thigh, foot in front. Forward. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hutch, ku, ju. Twist. Forward. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hutch, ku, ju. Twist. Thigh. Forward. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hutch, ku, ju. Twist. ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Twist. Yame. Both in front. Pick them up. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Reach deeper. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Twist right. Left. Legs apart. Turn right, reach right. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Left. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Center. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Right. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Left. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Center. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Right elbow next to right knee. Reach with the left. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Untie. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Sit up straight, twist right. Left. And yummy. Bring them in. Right over left. Grab your toes, rotate. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Reverse. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Massage your toes. Ball the foot. Instep and arch. Heel. Calf. Shake, shake, shake. Cradle. Rock the baby. Grab your side of foot, stretch it out sideways. Bring it over center, put it down. Untie. Rotate. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Reverse. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Massage your toes. Ball the foot. Instep and arch. Heel. Up to the calf. Shake, shake, shake. Cradle. Rocking. Stretch. Bring it over center, put it down. And yummy. Okay, so we're going to do our jackknives. So get your position, whatever you need to be. And if you can do the back fall, do so. Otherwise, position. Ready? Height. Jackknives. Hajime. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Hands under butt. Scissors. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Straight up. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Knees to chest. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Flutter kick. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hitch, ku, jump, straight up, feet on your belly, fist by your cheekbones, legs slowly down, and stretch. Bring your right knee in, take your ankle, thigh, hook behind your knee, put it down, twist. And thigh, rotate, thigh, twist, put it down. Yummy, both knees in, rocking. Stretch. Heels in, bridge. Rocking if you can. Hands by your shoulders, push all the way up. And yummy. Sort yourself out, anything you need to do. Get ready for push-ups. Again, if you can do the face fall, do the face fall. Hey! Push-up position. Head up, right leg up. Down, left leg up. Down, head down, back. Scoop. Back. Down. Head up, right leg up. Down, left leg up. Down, head down, back. Scoop. Back. Down. Head up, right leg up. Down, left leg up. Down, head down, back. Scoop. Back. Down. Head up, right leg up. Down, left leg up. Down, head down, back. Scoop. Back. Down, one more. Head up, right leg up. Down, left leg up. Down, head down, back. Scoop. Back. Down, hold it. Slowly down and relax. Up, thigh, and thigh, and thigh. Turn around, drop to a knee, and fix anything you need to fix. Left tummy, go to gash. Thigh. Thigh, EQ. Thigh. Dai. Dai, Nikyu. Both elbows evenly. Dai. Dai. Thank you. Dai. Dai. Shikanagi. Dai. Dai. Finger wrist stretch. Dai. And shake it loose. Okay, get your space ready for Tai Sabaki. Left foot forward, stepping in with the right. Hitch. Knee. San. Shi. Go. Look. Sich. Fetch. Go. Ju. Dai. Hitch. Knee. San. Shi. Go. Look. Sich. Fetch. Go. Ju. Dai. Hitch the pivot. Hitch. Knee. San. Shi. Go. Look. Hitch. Hitch. Q. Ju. Dai. Hitch. Knee. San. Shi. Go. Look. Sich. Fetch. Q. Ju. And yeah. Okay, ready for close the window, fit in. So again, we're going to come up the center and turn, leaning in on our front knee. Both hands even. Left side first. Ready? Hitch. Back. Knee. Back. San. Back. Shi. Back. Go. Back. Rook. Back. Sich. Back. Hatch. Back. Q. back, chew, back, front thigh, hitch, back, knee, back, san, back, shi, back, gu, back, rook, back, sich, back, touch, back, q, back, chew, and back. So like the way with Ippon, when we go in and sometimes we do such a good job that we end up having to hop forward, I've been emphasizing with close the window that forward knee drop. So I'm getting to a point where I can kind of feel my back foot almost leaving the ground, and I want to hop forward too, which isn't a bad thing because that's the direction that we're going to go in. So it means that you're getting a good forward knee drop as opposed to dropping straight down, which tends to take the kazushi off uke. Okay, so we're going to pick up where we left off last class, where we were doing those strange fit-ins for Ippon. So again, we're going to just practice that drop first, just so we can remember it. So again, the idea is that we're going to, we don't have to step in, but what we're going to do is we're going to bring our heels together like so, with our feet at almost 90 degrees, so that when we bend, we can keep our heels together and come up onto the ball of foot. So from the front it looks like this, and from the side, more importantly, you'll see that I'm trying to keep my shoulder over my hip over my ankles, and only my knees come forward. So the whole idea is that we want to be able to drop in a straight line. We're running down uke's body, so right, we have their chest against our back, and we don't want to separate out from them. We want to slide down them before we do our throw. So let's just do that a few times, as long as our knees can take it without too much strain. So again, heel to heel, and dip down, hold it for a second, back up. Dip down, hold it for a second, back up. Dip down, hold it for a second, back up. Dip down, hold it for a second, back up. One more. Dip down, hold it for a second, back up. Okay, so again, that's something that you can work on to strengthen your knees, but also to get into that position a little bit better. So now what we're going to do is the same thing, but we're going to add in the throw bend. So again, from the side, it'll look like this. This time we're going to just have our hands up, and we're going to come down, hover for a second, and now we're going to take our right elbow and put it on the outside of our left knee, and look underneath look to our rear when we do it. So for the other side, same thing. We come down straight, we hover, and then put our left elbow on the outside of our right knee and look behind us. So it's very important. So from the front, so you can see it, I'm coming straight down. So uke is still against my back, but now I'm below their center of gravity. Now they're loaded onto my back, and as I come across, my shoulder is dipping so they can just roll off. That's why I need to look behind me, right? If I look over here, I tend to straighten up. Okay, so let's do that a few times. I'll point this way. We'll go left, right, just to keep ourselves even. So just stand with your heels together, fists up, elbows down. So drop, hold it, then go left, back up, drop, hold it, go right, back up, drop, hold it, go left, back up, drop, hold it, go right, back up, drop, hold it, go left, back up, drop, hold it, go right, and back up, and shake it loose. Okay, so feet together, let's just rotate our knees, loosen them up a little bit, untie, and shake it loose. Okay, so something you can work up to doing for longer periods of time or more reps, but I don't want to do too many. Okay, so I have my boots here for demonstration. You can use yours or not. So the idea for Ippon is we're coming in toe to toe so that when we pivot into place, we're inside that front foot. We're basically, we want to be here, right? Like this. Not parallel to it, but turned. So our butt is pointing a little bit more towards their leg than their center. We're not going to be in center. We want to be blocking that front leg. So when we drop down, we're riding down that front leg, and when we bend, we're going to ride down the front leg. When we bend, we're going to pop that leg out because their thigh will be here and they'll have to go over. So the whole way to get in there is be toe to toe on the inside corner of their toe. So when we bring our back foot and pivot in, we're in that perfect position. Then we drop down and in this case go left. So I'm stepping in with my right to their right. I pivot, I drop straight down, and then I throw. Okay, so we're going to add in the arms. When we step in, we're going to be bringing this arm up, almost like it's upside down. I'm exaggerating, you don't have to go that far. But you want to come up the center and here. They're coming with a roundhouse, we're presuming. You can do this with a straight, but it's better with a roundhouse, obviously, because you got the momentum of their turning. So we're going to come up their center, turn our hand over, and pull their arm forward as we come in. So that footstep and hand are going to come together. And as we pull their arm forward, now we can clip underneath their bicep. Right, a lot of people make the mistake of going all the way into the armpit. You want to actually clip the bicep, the upper part of the bicep. Okay, so we come in toe to toe, pulling, clip. Once we have the clip, for our exercise purpose, we're just going to drop this hand onto here, so that way they stay together in front of our forehead. And now when we pivot, it's in front of our forehead. When we drop down, it's in front of our forehead. And when we throw, it's in front of our forehead. And back up. So that's a good way to maintain the consistency between the pulling hand and the clipping hand, because they both want to work together. They don't want to be operating separately. Okay, so let's just iterate that. We'll do it 5 times slowly, a little broken down. Step in, pull, clip. Pivot, drop down, throw, back up. Again, step in, pull, clip, pivot, drop down, throw, and back. Again, step in, pull, clip, pivot, drop down, throw, and back. Again, step in, pull, clip, pivot, drop down, throw, back up. One more like that. Step in, pull, clip, pivot, drop down, throw, and back up. Okay, now we're going to do it as a continuous motion at full speed. So just for demonstration, it'll look like this. And if you need to hop forward after that, I wouldn't be surprised. It's good. Ready? Ich. Ni. San. Shi. Go. And yummy. Okay, let's switch sides. Same thing, stepping in with the left. So step in, pull, clip, pivot, drop down, throw, and back up. Again, step in, pull, clip, pivot, drop down, throw, and back up. Step in, pull, clip, pivot, drop down, throw, back up. Two more like that. Step in, pull, clip, pivot, drop down, throw, back up. One more time like that. Step in, pull, clip, pivot, drop down, throw, back up. Okay, and now 5 at speed. Ready? Ich. And out. Ni. And out. San. Out. Shi. Out. Go. And out. And yummy. Okay, so we're going to switch over to Harai Oshi, and there's actually 2 versions of this. There's the version that I do and the version that Sensei Maria does. They're very similar, but it's really probably like a tall person, shorter person variation. When I do it, I step in toe to toe just like before, and then instead of pivoting into ippon position, I actually step in toe to toe and I cross step deep between their legs, so that when I come up I'm actually pointing over here, which is their forward off balance position. And I'll explain what the difference is. When Sensei Maria does it, she does basically the same fit in as ippon, where she'll pivot heel to heel, leg goes around, and she's actually throwing them over there. When I'm back here, even though I'm pointing towards their off balance, they're going to go forward. Whereas with Sensei Maria's, they're going to go to their, over their front toe, that direction. So the difference is that it's all to do with how much you tip them. And how much you tip them depends for you on how tall they are relative to you. So because I'm tall, what happens is I step in toe to toe. I'm doing the same pulling action with this arm, so those 2 foot arm combos are the same. Now instead of clipping, the hand goes around their waist, right? So what happens is, if they're tall, you need to come from the waist up and across and tip them a lot. I mean, if you're tall, you need to tip them a lot so that the amount that you have to get under them is less. If they're taller than you, you don't have to tip them as much because you're already underneath them. So you can afford to throw them over there. I want to throw them there because I'm going to cause them to tip more. So that's what the two different foot positions will achieve. One is allowing for you to tip them more, but it means that you have to drive that arm. It comes in, if I'm coming from towards the camera, I'm stepping in toe to toe, I'm pulling with this hand. This hand comes around their waist and wants to travel diagonally up across their back, and as I turn, it's doing that. I'm cross-stepping in deep and turning all the way. So they're already tipped a lot before I even start my Harai foot leg position. So we're going to work on that, but just realize that if you're shorter, that you might not need to go quite so deep, and therefore you don't need to drive them as much with that arm, and you can push them over there. Almost like the difference between an ogoshi. With the ogosh we just throw them over there, and the ippon where we tend to throw them in front of us. But we're going to do my version just to practice it. But before we do all that, let's just do this like we did at the start. Get something that you can hold on to or stand by a wall or something. And I just want you to hook the leg around, dip down and back up. Concentrating on trying to keep your back and leg in a straight line. So again, hook around, dip down, touch the mat, come back up. I don't actually need this. So it's basically the same practice that we do for Osotogari as well. So we're going to bring the leg around, dip down, and back up. The Osoto, obviously we're doing calf to calf. With Harai we're going thigh to thigh. Hook the leg around, dip down, and back up. So if you imagine your other hand is going to be pulling them, and it's going to be in front of your face, just much like ippon. So when you hook it around, you're going to be pulling them down and out that way too. Let's do a couple more like that. Hook it around, touch the mat. Now use your dropping leg to bring your torso back up. You want to keep that torso leg connection as though you cannot bend from the hip at all. Okay, hook around, down, back up. One more, hook around, down, and back up. Other side, same thing, hook around, down, back up, hook around, down, back up, hook around, down, and back up. Obviously, if you have to hold on to a wall, you can't do something with your other hand, but if you have a free hand, you can keep it in front like that. Hook around, down, back up, hook around, down, back up. One more. Hook around, down, back up. Okay, so now we're going to put it into practice. So same thing as before, we're going to be stepping in with our right, toe to toe, up the center, pulling that arm. Again, it's a roundhouse in this case. And instead of clip, we're going to just move in for their waist. And as we pivot, so I'm going to do it like this. As we pivot, not only do we allow our hand to come around like this, we also want to come up diagonally to their back. So think of doing what we were doing with ippon before. We step in toe to toe, we do this, we take their waist, and as we pivot, just bring it up and grab the other hand. Now we can come around, drop down, and back up. So again, which corner you throw them to will depend on their size and how much you pivot in. So ready, stepping in toe to toe, pull, take the waist, pivot in or deep step in, hook around. Again, it's thigh to thigh, not calf to calf like Soto. And down and back up. Let me do it from the other angle so you can see. Step in toe to toe pull, take the waist, pivot in, drive that back to the shoulder, hook, throw, and back up. Again, step in toe to toe pull, take the waist, deep step in, driving, 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 hook, push, and back up. So another way I describe this is do it again, step in, pulling, take the waist, and then imagine that you've got a big steering wheel on a huge bus that's a vertical steering wheel for some reason. And as you're coming around, you're driving, turning the bus, hook the leg, sweep. Not really a sweep, it's a throw. So to be clear, it's not a sweep. People keep thinking this is a sweep. We're coming in, and just like a gauche, gauche we would dip our hip underneath and ride them onto our hip and throw them over. This is, say we can't get our hip low enough to tip them, right? So now we've got something that's lower that can go across not their waist but their thigh. So the tipping, now they've got something else to fall over, and as they start to tip, we're going to raise up that barrier and raise up the part of them that's lower than their center of gravity so they continue to tip. So they have to be tipping to start with, right? This is not where we come in and we just grab them and try and whip out the bottom from underneath them. It does happen and it looks like that when we do it quickly, but we have to get that tip first. Unless they're really light and we're big and mean, we can't force it. Okay, so let's switch sides. Stepping in with the left. So we're stepping in and we're pulling that arm. We're taking the waist. We cross step deep or pivot, driving, driving, driving the bus. Hook the thigh, throw, and back up. And move it out a little bit so we don't keep the couch. Again, step in toe to toe pulling, take the waist, cross step in deep, driving, 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 take the thigh, throw, and back up. Again, step in, pulling, take the waist, cross step in, driving, thigh, push, and back up. Two more like that. Step in toe to toe, pulling, take the waist, cross step in, driving, driving, driving as we pivot, take the thigh, throw. One more. Step in toe to toe, pulling, take that waist. Remember not to leave your shoulder behind when you turn your hip, and your hip will turn when you bring your back foot in. So you have to drive as you come in. So see, I'm still in front of my forehead, right? Pivot, pivot, pivot. Take the thigh, throw. So if I had a way, if you got like something light, like a big sponge or something, and tied it to your head, you would be able to touch your wrists with that and know that they're in front of your forehead all the time. And that way when you come in, you know that when you're pivoting, you're not leaving that shoulder behind. So those of us that have flexible shoulders have a tendency to come in, take the waist, turn, and now the waist is still over there, and now we have to try and hold it using the shoulder muscles. So it's going to rip your shoulder out. So come in, pull, and continuously pull with this arm. That starts them tipping. Keep the tipping in front of you all the time. So that motion of pivoting is what's tipping them, instead of the shoulder muscle, which generally isn't strong enough, right? I'm trying to come in toe to toe and cross step. See, my foot is actually deeper than their back foot. I'm going as far underneath their body as possible. So when I turn, I don't really need to do this and come over here. I just basically need to turn and go from here to here, because I'm already, their leg is here, right? I don't need to come over here. I'd be going through an invisible body. So I'm getting deep in with this foot, so I don't have to turn much, and now I can throw them there. If I don't come deep with this foot, then I do have to come around so I can throw over there. We're going to now put it into motion, right? We did it nice and slow and broke down. And what I was saying is that often it looks like that I'm coming in and I'm just kicking the leg out from beneath them. That's just because it looks like that, because I'm tipping them so much. But you do want to get that speed into it. It's not about coming in, doing this, and then this, right? Because as soon as you do this, your balance goes back. But it is about trying to do it at speed. Let me do the other side so you can see. So there's that, we talk a lot about, like with Koichigari, we come in and we hop and do that foot exchange. So it's kind of the same thing without the boots. I'm coming in and I'm hopping into this position, right? So I come in toe to toe, and then as I'm cross-stepping in, I'm already taking that foot off the ground. So that way I get a big turn, and it looks like I'm knocking their legs out from underneath them, but it's the big turn that I'm getting with their upper body that achieves it. But I can get that huge sweep-like motion in by skipping into position. So we're going to just try that again. Think of, see, watch where my foot ends up. You should be able to probably not see my foot, because I'm going essentially the same depth at least as the front foot, if not deeper. So my front foot, or my stepping in back foot, should almost disappear for you from this camera angle. So let's just, and again, drive the bus. So think of that up and over, because you're coming from the waist up the back and then down. Okay, let's do that 5 times on the stepping in with the right. Hitch, and back, knee, back, sun, back, she, back, go, and back. Okay, switch sides. Ready, hitch, back, knee, and back, sun, and back, she, back, go, and back. So you can see when I do it from this angle that my cross-stepping foot is getting at least the same depth as the front foot. But basically I'm between you know, their body is going to be right against this leg as it comes in. So I'm right against them, all contact. So when I do the sweep, they're going to come with me because I'm driving them. So just watch one. Right, see where this foot is? It's right underneath their center of gravity. So it allows me to drive them over this big rising fence. It started out as a low fence. They're starting to fall from this height, tip forward, and as they tip over it, it rises up and makes them tip even more. When I'm working with somebody that's a lot stockier than me, what I'm found that I have to do is they're going to be turned like this. I'm stepping in toe to toe. I take their waist, and right here is where I need to start pushing them. So imagine that I'm trying to push them in a circle like this to get onto my leg. Instead of trying to just bring them forward, I need to get them sideways first, and then the pulling arm is going to pull them forward as I bring them around, as I pivot. So I end up in this position, and then I can be low down on their leg. I don't need to be high up to do that. So yes, you really need to practice with different body types to be able to get a feel for that. But that whole notion of that circular, I keep saying drive the bus, right? So this wouldn't be on their shoulder, it would be on their arm, so a little bit more out. But if this is here and this is here, as I'm turning in a circle like that, but it's also coming up and over, right? So the actual motion is sliding up across to the height, tip, 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 leg goes in front, and then down. So that idea of, right, that kind of punch that comes from your waist and comes then down onto somebody's chest, almost like a Superman punch, or even the throwing of an elbow strike, the way we do it with a big spiral like that. It's that same motion where you're coming up and down, but instead of the spiral happening, our leg is doing that instead. So our leg coming up is taking the place of this spiral action. But yeah. Yes, it is definitely more difficult for doing this with heavier people. But that's where the front hand is really important, to get that, because they're providing this, right? If somebody's committed to a roundhouse, they've got motion on that, and we're going to be pulling them onto their front foot to start with. That front foot's the front foot that the thigh of which we're going to block, right? So they've got all their weight onto that, and they're already tipping forward, and we're pulling that arm around and in front. That's how you take advantage of somebody that's bigger and heavier than you, because you can displace that heaviness forward, and that's why we can do this throw with people that are much heavier than us. Okay, let's do a little bit of exercise before we finish up. Ready for jumping jacks? Hitch, knee, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hatch, ku, jo, hitch, knee, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hatch, ku, Ju, ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hach, ku, ju, ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hach, ku, ju, ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hach, ku, and ju. Yummy. And standing twists. Remember to look all the way behind you. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hach, ku, ju. And the same thing from the standing split, the windmill. Look at the ceiling this time. Ready? Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hach, ku, ju, ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hach, ku, ju, ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hach, ku, ju. Stay where you are and keep your legs straight, hands on the mat. Try and walk forward while keeping your butt back until you can no longer reach any further. Drop your elbows. Should feel a big calf stretch, ankles, Achilles tendon. And back up on your hands. Walk back. And as far back behind you underneath as you can stretch. You should feel this in your hamstrings and thighs. And back to center. Reach right. Left. And bring him into Shikadach and drop down low, elbows on your knees, and breathe. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Breathe into your belly as always. Drop down lower into a squat. And toe raises. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hach, ku, ju. And raise your butt. Walk them in. Ni, ich, ni, san, shi, go. There, ich, ni, san, shi, go. And shake it loose. Okay, fist by your cheekbones, ready for knee raises. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hach, ku, ju. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hach, ku, ju. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hach, ku, ju. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, Rook, sich, hatch, ku, ju, ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hatch, ku, and ju. May, standing twist, ich, ni, san, shi, go, and shake it loose. Okay, into Eizan. Butt on your heels. Make a V with your hands, put it on the mat. And you're going to try and slide your hands forward without touching the mat for as long as possible while still keeping your butt on your heels. So you want to hover, hover, hover. And at some point, for me it's around here, my butt starts to leave and I have to drop my hands down so my butt stays on. And I'm going to slide the rest of the way with a little bit of weight on my hands, as little as possible. Get the stretch in. And as you come up, do the same thing. Raise your elbows first. Try and use your abdominals to pull your hands back. And now we're going to go back. Slowly up. Hands behind your head. And again, try and touch the mat with your elbows or better. I can touch the mat with my head while keeping your butt on your heels. Ich. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Rook. Sich. Hatch. Ku. Ju. And of course you might notice that you get the maximum from this when you're hovering just above the mat before you touch it, and even more so just above the mat as you come back up. That's the critical point where you really get the tension in your abdominals and get to exercise them properly. Okay, flare your elbows, going sidewards, same thing. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hatch, ku, ju. And with it, it's a bit weird because you get different things happening as you hover close to it. The side that you're pulling down with is the one that you're exercising most. The outside one is just trying to keep your butt on your heels. But when you come up, they do the opposite. The outside one is pulling and the inside one is releasing. Okay, good. Let's call that a day and let's finish up. So, mock so. So you may. Arigato gozaimashita. And thanks again for joining me. I hope to see you next time.